Welcome back into the live desk. Right now, we are taking a live look at Arrowhead Stadium, and the countdown is officially on as we are looking ahead to what could be the coldest Chiefs game of all time. With that being said, I do want to turn the camera around so y'all can see me. My name is Janae Hancock here at the live desk, and we have to talk about what is at stake here. A lot of people are planning to go to the game, but as you all know, it could be very, very cold tomorrow. It will be very, very cold. So with that being said, I want to turn things over to our guest for today. You're taking a look at Dr. Adam Algren, I should say, who is the chair of emergency medicine at University Health KC. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. Like I mentioned, a lot of people are very excited to be going to this game tomorrow, but just how dangerous is it to attend this game in this kind of weather?
Well, I think that as many people have heard, we're going to experience unprecedentedly cold temperatures and wind chills for the game tomorrow night. So it could frankly turn dangerous for some individuals.
And you talk about it being very dangerous tomorrow. We hear hypothermia. We have been talking about frostbite. Speak a little bit more about that and how people will know if they have frostbite and the signs to look out for.
So yeah, frostbite initially starts just with some redness and pain, and then you can experience some tingling. And then as frostbite progresses and you start to see more significant injury, the skin becomes hard, it can become pale, you can actually start to experience numbness or loss of pain. And then eventually the skin can start to blister, and that's how you know that you've experienced really significant frostbite is if there's blistering.
And so what do you recommend? We spoke a little bit about this during our morning meeting today inside of the KCTV5 newsroom, that pretty much your entire body needs to be covered. So how should people dress? Let's talk about those layers. Should it be tight layers or should it be loose? How should people be dressing tomorrow?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of those. So I think you can have some more tight lower layers, but then I think having more progressive layered clothing is the key to keeping warm, especially if you're able to dress in warm weather clothing, such as wool. Things that wick moisture away from the skin will help keep you warmer, because once you start to get wet, that really increases the rate at which hypothermia can develop. And especially, you want to make sure that you cover your hands, your ears, your head, because those are areas that are prone to frostbite or where you lose heat.
Okay, let's go back to the mittens and let's go back to the gloves. I know that there is a difference there. I've seen kind of different opinions. What do you think? Do you think that people should really start reaching for those gloves, or should they be reaching for those mittens that actually keep your fingers together?
I think that people could do either. I would think that one additional option would be to have some hand warmers as well. I think that even when you're wearing mittens or gloves, eventually your hands do start to get cold, and having some additional hand warmers would be beneficial for keeping your hands warm.
And speaking a little bit more about those tips, how helpful is Vaseline for people to put that all over their faces and also their body, anything that's going to be exposed to the cold weather?
I would not recommend that personally. I don't know that I feel like that will prevent significant injury. And given that it is moist, it might contribute to some cold injury as well.
And what else do you recommend people not doing leading up to this game? I know I mentioned earlier, we've been talking about it all week. A lot of people, when they tailgate, they go straight to the alcohol, and that's how they think they're going to stay warm. But do you recommend that?
Well, certainly when it gets this cold, I think you have to be very careful about drinking alcohol. Certainly, alcohol can impair judgment. It also causes the blood vessels in your skin to dilate and can increase heat loss. So both of those are certainly things that can be detrimental. And given that loss of coordination, slurred speech, and impaired judgment are all signs of hypothermia, it can become very challenging to tell the difference between the two.
And Arrowhead will have several warming stations at the stadium tomorrow for fans inside and outside. How important is it that fans kind of step away during the game to make sure that they step inside of those warming stations to make sure they are still healthy?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be critically important that people monitor themselves and the people that they're with, given that these NFL games are multi-hour experiences. People are going to be at risk if they're tailgating, especially, and so it only takes a matter of less than 30 minutes in these conditions to develop frostbite. So I think that it will be very important for people to take breaks if possible.
And doctor, any other advice that you have for our viewers? I know we have a lot of people tuning in right now and they're just looking for someone to tell them exactly what they need to do because they're diehard Chiefs fans and of course they want to cheer them on. But what other advice do you have for them as far as what they need to wear, what they need to do ahead of time, and maybe afterwards once they get home?
Yeah, I think that we've covered a lot of the high points about dressing in layers, making sure to wear hats and gloves, using any type of hand warmers, feet warmers that are possible. Uh, Bringing something to insulate their feet from the ground can be helpful as well. And then I think limiting your alcohol exposure and then monitoring those that you're with, monitoring yourself very closely for any signs of frostbite or hypothermia.
Definitely some great tips there. And you mentioned having something like a cardboard for your feet and having those blankets as well. I am taking a look at the Chiefs or Arrowhead Stadium, their Twitter. We've been saying it all week long, but definitely as far as bundling up, you can bring blankets inside of the stadium just without zippers or compartments. And then also as far as those cardboards go, as long as they're no larger than 3x5. Doctor, I want to thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. I know it's Go Chiefs, but we also have to be concerned about safety when we're talking about frigid temperatures. So thank you so much for your time.
Yep, thank you.